Well, hello everybody. This is DeSaussure. This will be my last president's address for the webpage. I want to start by saying it's my pleasure to announce that the Bar Association is open. The building is open. The bar is now having live events. Just in case you haven't seen what's coming up, we're starting the Legally Breakfasts again on July 7th. We have a August 20th Back to the Bar event hosted by the Senior Lawyers Association of the Bar Association, and you all are invited. We have the Bocce with the Bar on September 23rd, and we have a tailgate party with the Ohio State Bar Association as a pregame before the Akron U Ohio State football game. So we have events. And we had our first live meeting since I was bar president last Thursday on June 24th. And I know many of you weren't there, but a lot of you were. And thank you all for attending. And for those of you who weren't, we truly had a remarkable event. We had 170 registered people out in Barberton to celebrate basically being members of the Bar Association and meeting for the first time in over a year. It felt like the beginning of a bar presidency. Unfortunately for me, it was the end of my bar presidency. It was my first actual face-to-face meeting, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And those of us, and many of us were leaving after being there for a while, and people were still there enjoying the event. It was a great event. It was a great annual meeting, and it just is a foreshadowing of the good things to come for this bar association. This will be my last address, as I've indicated, and I want to highlight a couple of things that we were able to do over the course of this year. We focused a lot on membership. Even though we were closed, the Bar Association was closed, we were able to kind of move forward. We focused on membership. We added a whole bunch of new members, and we called them law students, who are now members of the Bar Association. We have increased our member engagement. We've sent out a survey. We engaged the services of Red Cave Consulting along with the Akron Bar Foundation to provide practice management tools for all of our members. We also had increased offerings for remote CLE. We allowed for interactive meetings, and which will continue going forward, so we can be both live as well as via video conferencing. We've been actively engaged with the members of the criminal law section and the common pleas section in navigating some of the weirdness that has existed as far as criminal appointments and fees for indigent defendants. And those are things that will continue on, but we have been actively involved in as part of your Bar Association to support our members. The building, as I've indicated, is open. We reestablished, we've changed finally the lights out. We've been talking about swapping out to LEDs for several years, and we managed to get that done during the period of time that the building was shut down. So when you come to the building, it's brighter and has a completely different look to it, even though it's the same old building. As I've indicated, we do have the ability now to increase participation in meetings, committee and section meetings, by using technology. We used to use phone dial-in, which didn't work that well, but now we have video conferencing. So we will have sort of hybrid meetings where people are both live and attending via conference. And I think that will really increase the participation of you as members of the association into those events. That's truly a remarkable thing, and I think it'll be a real service to us going forward. We've increased our relationship with the University of Akron Law School. As I've indicated, we've made all their students members. We're increasing our engagement with law students to keep them as members after they begin practicing law. We're working with the faculty now to try to work out some arrangements to get faculty members more engaged with the Akron Bar Association, and all to the good, because this is all about serving our members, increasing our membership, and really acting in a way that gives relevancy to people's practices and their work as lawyers in this community. Finally, I'm happy to say our budget is balanced going forward. The Bar Association is in great financial shape at this point in time. That's not to say that there aren't challenges ahead, but we do have we're on firm financial footing, which the beginning of this year was not a certainty by any means. The bottom line on it is we've had an interesting year. We've had a year of challenges. The Bar Association has been flexible, has adapted, and I think we're coming out of this now truly in a good place. When I gave my first president's address, I gave an anecdote about a motorcycle trip my wife and I had taken to Lake Superior, and kind of using that as a metaphor, using that trip and the fact that we found comfort at various rest stops to meet other weary travelers is sort of a anecdote to the Bar Association. And I want to end with a motorcycle anecdote, if you'll bear with me. About 2 weeks ago, my wife and I rode our motorcycle down to the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. Really great trip. If you haven't gone down there before, it's a beautiful area of the country. There is a road that sort of skirts the boundary of Tennessee and North Carolina, which motorcyclists call the tail of the dragon, right? So it's one of those kinds of things that when you're a motorcyclist and a young kid and you've got a sport bike, that's where you want to go. So everybody goes to the tail of the dragon because it's a very difficult road to navigate, and it is a challenge for motorcyclists. Well, when I was planning the trip with my wife Mary and our bike, I mentioned the fact that the tail of the dragon will be very close to where we will be, and her response was, "No way are we going to do the tail of the dragon." Okay, so we weren't going to do the tail of the dragon. Well, the funny thing is, by the time we got down there, through a whole quirk of weird events that had transpired, we ended up having to go to the foot of the tail of the dragon because of some road detours and stuff, and there we were, at the tail of the dragon. And the only way for us to get from point A to point B, which is where we were trying to get to, was to ride the tail of the dragon. And I guarantee you it was not by design. It just happened. So I looked to Mary and we agreed, okay, let's do the tail of the dragon. The tail of the dragon is difficult. It is challenging. We dragged a few pegs around corners. I mean, I'm not a wild and crazy motorcycle guy, but you realize that coming around some of these turns, you have to actually accelerate as opposed to decelerate in order to stay upright. By the time we got through it, we were smiling and laughing, and we stopped and we posed for pictures in front of what they call the tree of shame, where all these motorcycle bike parts are put up on there, on this tree where people have wrecked. We didn't wreck, we got through it, and at the end of the day, we felt like, you know what, we'd really done something. And you know, I think this year has been sort of like being through the tail of the dragon for the Bar Association. We've had a lot of crazy twists and turns. We've really had to figure out that we needed to move forward in spots when it could have been easy for us to stop. And it's been a remarkable year. And I think at this point in time, and with the events that we have coming up, including the meeting we had last Thursday, we can kind of pause and say, yes, we did that. Yes, we did that. And now we have Lisa Miller coming in as our new bar president and Maura Scanlon as the president-elect. And we really are going to have some true engaging moments for this Bar Association. I think we all realize now that this is an organization where we can connect as colleagues and as members of our profession. And that's what the Bar Association is all about. So I think this upcoming year with Lisa Miller at the helm and Maura Scanlon as in the wings, so to speak, we're going to have another very good year and really take off. So thank you all for your patience this year. Thank you for being there and staying as members of this truly remarkable organization. And thank you for putting up with me as your president over the last year. And I look forward to continue to work with all of you as members of this organization and supporting Lisa and Maura. Thank you.